Escanor is officially Big Daddy Sunshine. In chapter 192, it was revealed that the parents of Gawain, Knight of Famine, is none other than Merlin, the boar sin of gluttony, and of course, the sin of pride, Big Daddy Sunshine, Escanor. Gawain is now officially a 7 Deadly Sins kid. Poor Percival, he really feels out of place now. As one question has been answered for us readers, now we are left with a multitude more related to just how exactly did Escanor and Merlin make Gawain? I mean, come on, Escanor is missing something very important, if you know what I mean. This is still a big win for all the Escanor and Merlin fans because, well, let's just say that their relationship leading up to Gawain has been a little muddled. So I think we should give it a little leeway into how Escanor and Merlin would eventually come to get Gawain. And by then, we have some questions that I think could be answered, but then again, these are just theories. But hey, if you want to hear them out, then stick around for this video, comment down below on what you think Escanor and Merlin did to make Gawain, and let's get into it. Escanor and Merlin's relationship has been, a little difficult. Escanor is much like the other male sins, very dedicated to his woman. He will do what she says, he will fight for her, he will be a noble companion. During the day, Escanor was a lot like the old knights of yore. A true gentleman of love and valor, worshipping Merlin like a goddess. But during the nighttime, in his true form, Escanor was kind of like King, a little scrawny dude who kind of just fanboyed and acted a little pathetic when it came down to his crush. He still had good meanings and good intentions and nothing creepy. So he was better than Meliodas and a bit better than King. As for Merlin, it was a little difficult because she rarely ever, I guess, returned the favor for those feelings. We started feeling bad for Escanor at the time because it felt like all of his feelings for her was being unappreciated. Merlin had closed herself off from ever feeling love, but at least Escanor got a kiss when he was sacrificing himself to defeat the Demon King. As a goodbye, she placed a kiss upon his lips and scarred her very face to remind her of the man who loved her, leaving Escanor content and happy. And then we found out the truth as to why. After all that, after the kiss, we find out about Merlin's backstory, and it pissed off a lot of fans because she was in love with Meliodas and had some daddy issues. These issues with love, paternal and romantic, closed her off, and why she couldn't exactly reciprocate any feelings towards Escanor because she was afraid of simply having another broken heart. So she dedicated her life to research and finding out about chaos, resurrecting Arthur as the King of Chaos, and thus becoming the main reason why we have the major antagonist today in the new series. And somewhere between then and now, Merlin had decided to make Gawain. So we are left with 3 big questions. Why? When? And more importantly, how? Because like I said, Escanor is missing something. So let's first start off with why. After resurrecting Arthur as the King of Chaos and starting Camelot as the new eternal kingdom, somewhere down the line, Merlin probably felt empty. We thought that she had stuck with Arthur through and through after hearing all the horrible things that he was doing to humans who sided with the non-humans. Fans thought that, wow, she really is doubling down on her mistakes. But then it was revealed, Merlin, the one that we saw with Arthur, was not her. It was never her. She left Arthur. After everything that happened, she ditched him. Now that's a good call. But the question is, why? My explanation? I think Merlin was still unhappy. After everything, she finally achieved something that the wise men of her clan never could. Chaos itself. And yet, After everything, after seeing the horrors that she probably unlocked to the rest of the world, she probably just felt unhappy, as if incomplete. So she decided to turn her attention to finding true happiness, and the one time she did it was with Escanor. Now, this is just a theory, a fan theory, but Merlin possibly, maybe tried to resurrect Escanor. We have seen Camelot resurrect the dead. I mean, Camelot occasionally creates these fake illusions for the residents, but these fakes weren't the real people. They were just illusions in the person's mind. So Merlin wanted to resurrect the real Escanor, not through the means of Camelot or through something like 𝐾𝐨𝐵𝐠𝐞𝐭 or 𝐾𝐨𝐵𝐿𝐴, but full-on resurrection. And upon meeting Escanor's spirit, perhaps Escanor talked her down from doing it and decided to do something else. Instead of bringing back Escanor, perhaps, even in spirit form, he could still support her, and together they would have a child. They would become parents! Not only was Merlin going to, try to do something romantic with Escanor, but it's also possible that she was reacting to the prophecy of the four knights, a child with golden magic. No doubt, she knew it was going to be connected to her through sunshine. So she set up to work, not only to make a daughter, but a way to stop Arthur. Which brings us to, when did this happen? Considering that Gawain is 18 like the rest of the four knights, and they were all born roughly a year after the event of the Demon King and the Supreme Deity, this means that Merlin stuck around with Arthur for almost a year until finally deciding to jump ship. Man, Arthur went downhill really quick. So after some time and finally making Gawain, it was probably a little too dangerous for Arthur to figure out her true origins, especially if Merlin of all people made her. So Merlin unfortunately probably had to leave her with Kay, an adopted child abandoned, with her true origins unknown. But that didn't mean that Gawain was unloved or unwatched by her parents. As we all know, Gawain and Merlin were in the forms of Grandma and Grandpa. This is nothing new. I mean, Merlin has transferred her own soul into a different object before, as seen with her own sacred treasure Aldrin during season 2 of the anime. I mean, Escanor doesn't have a body, so I'm sure he'd be happy in the dino skeleton doll that he is in now. And I will say that the Grandma doll is a bit of a downgrade for a beauty that is Merlin. Okay, I know they said that there were 3 big questions, but there is actually 4. Here's something that many other fans are wondering. If their spirits are in these dolls, from what we're guessing, where is Merlin's actual body? She has been outside her body before, but the question is, how long can she do it? Her magic infinity can't allow it. I mean, she stopped herself from aging for over 3,000 years. And it surely is the best way to look over Gawain in secret. It's nothing that Arthur is going to be expecting, but still, where is her body? Here's my prediction. In a future arc where Gawain is going to be discovering herself away from the four knights, because seriously, these knights really need attention away from one another. They need to have their own solo arcs. Gawain is probably going to get a hint from Grandma about the hints of her origins, just so she can also maybe get her body back for what's to come later with Arthur. This hint will lead to maybe a magically enchanted tower, or somewhere, a special location where Merlin hid away her body and only Gawain able to access and get through. The tower was meant for her to find out the truth. Because is she really going to believe the talking doll? Even back in chapter 192, Merlin was having doubts that Gawain would even believe her. So maybe in the future, Gawain will eventually find Merlin's body and find out the truth herself. And maybe Merlin can explain how she was born. The rest of the four knights were kind of born through conventional means. At least Percival's body was, but his spirit is an entirely different thing. And as for Gawain, we're not sure. I've seen many online suggesting that Gawain is actually a homunculus, this artificial human born from magic. And that wouldn't really surprise me considering how messed up Merlin can do with her experimenting from time to time. So the theory is that she is a homunculus clone born from, let's say, DNA samples I guess, from Escanor and Merlin. Some say she got it from that kiss from Escanor when his original body died. Some say Merlin had some extra DNA samples acquired from Escanor before his death. That's possibly the most likely explanation as to how Gawain was born, through magic. So she is not a clone. I never really liked the idea that Gawain was just an Escanor clone. Yeah, at the beginning, she was very prideful, much like her old man, but over time, we got to see more of Gawain. She wasn't just a prideful girl boss. We found a softer side. We found a funnier side. We found a more vulnerable side to Gawain. She loves sweets. She loves to win, but she also loves girls and fighting. There's a lot more to her. She's not exactly a gentleman like Escanor or even a gentlewoman. She's definitely studious like Merlin, but Gawain isn't just an Escanor clone. Gawain is Escanor's daughter. She is his legacy. Escanor has been watching and helping his daughter grow to become a more confident warrior, and he is ready to help her grow even more in the near future. And that's all I got for the prideful gluttons. That's why I'm calling this family, because they don't have a last name. Where is Merlin's body? And when will Gawain finally be led on to the truth about her real parents? We'll have to find out as the chapters go on, but let me know in the comments what you think, and if you love 7 Deadly Sins material and are excited for more, subscribe, hit that like button for more to come your way very soon. This has been Dante from the Anime Underworld, and I'll see you mortals later.